If you could go into a big meeting or an important presentation or a team meeting or something, and you could know that people are going to think you're charismatic and almost cool with status, would that be great? Well, in this video, I want to share with you 3 of my favorite status hacks that have probably helped clients of mine the fastest with actually turning around how they feel in meetings, in important presentations, how they look in meetings, and how people react to them. So these are really fast working things when you can get them right. If you can put into action at least 1 or 2 of these things, you're going to really see a big difference in how people react to you. Best of all, in the video, you'll see examples of what I'm talking about as well, so that you get a good idea of really what it could look like. And lastly, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite psychological tricks to get people to pretty much go along with anything you're saying much more often than if you went about it the usual way. So look for that at the end of the video. Now, if you've been around for a while, then you know that I have an acting background and I'm really inspired by actors. And one of my favorite actors of all time is Marlon Brando, who really inspired me to become an actor in the first place. He was notorious for being very charismatic and a bit of a scene stealer, to be honest. But watch this clip and notice what he does, because what he does in this clip really gives you great insight about what you can do in order to have more status very quickly and a real charisma and have people hanging on your every word when you speak.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm tired.
What happened the night before the party was raided?
Well, I had to find some way to, get my guitar out of hot. So, I ran into Charlie 5.
So what do you notice he's doing? He takes his time, doesn't he? He's not somebody that instantly responds to the other actor. In other words, if you sum this up, he's staying in his own rhythm. And this is one of those things that if you do this in work meetings, if you do this in social situations, if you do this in any situation where you want to have more status and charisma, this will massively pay off. You just have to start practicing it. And that can sometimes be hard. Now, a lot of people, when they're asked a question, they will want to instantly respond because they want to sound like they know the answer, or they're clever, or whatever, or they feel the pressure to fill the silence. Now, you need to resist that pressure. Instead, what you can do, and this is a good way of practicing it, when somebody asks you a question, take a breath. Breathe out. And while you do that, you think about what the answer could be, and then you respond. Try that out and notice how that feels. Chances are you're going to feel very uncomfortable doing that. But when you get used to it, you'll notice that the reaction from other people is they're really hanging on your every word when you actually start speaking, and you have this sort of power that comes over the room where people are really going to be drawn in. So try it out. This is a great one for people to not even notice how they get so drawn in and start to think that you're very charismatic. I've worked a lot with CEOs and leaders in organizations. When CEOs give a speech, or they come onto a platform, or they come into a meeting, they rarely put on a fake energy. They rarely speak louder than they need to. They rarely speak more than they need to. The really powerful people speak very little. They use the least words. They don't use filler words. They speak at an even tone. They don't put on a fake energy to speak, in an energized way to large crowds. Even if the crowd is buzzing and there's lots of talk going on, the CEO comes on and just starts speaking, and the room just subsides, the noise just subsides. They don't go, everybody, listen to me. No, it's not like that. They just start speaking. Hi, everyone. And the room adjusts to them. That's power. And that's charisma. So think about it like this. I sum this up in minimum effort, maximum impact. Do everything that you need to do to communicate, but with minimum effort. No extraneous effort. Just do what you need to do to be heard. Do what you need to do to be clear. Use the least words. Use the simplest language. And don't do anything too much. Just enough. I knew a guy in my 20s who had absolutely no charisma and, really wasn't very compelling. And this guy used to never suggest anything and never make basically a decision that would impact other people in public. He always used to hang out and wait for other people to decide, or he would overthink it very much. Now, this guy, of course, was me. And one of the most crucial things I learned over time is that you need to make decisions, and you need to be comfortable making decisions and making suggestions in public, in groups, in front of people. Now, the key with it is, if you make suggestions that you expect not to be taken up, you are not charismatic, you don't have any gravitas, you don't come across as compelling. And also, people won't want to go along with what you're suggesting. So if I said, for example, hey, I mean, you're probably not going to like these ideas, but, you could put this into practice and you might notice that you have some benefits, who knows. But I suggest it, but you may not like it. Then you're obviously not going to do anything that I'm saying, right? So I need to expect you to comply with what I'm suggesting to you, which is to practice these things. So expecting compliance, if you can get this into your head and you can do that consistently in situations where you're making decisions and when you're making suggestions, that is a massive step towards having more status, having more charisma in situations at work, for example. So expect people to go along with your suggestion when you're presenting. Expect them to go, yes, of course that makes sense. Great. Yeah, perfect. Not hoping for compliance, but expecting compliance. Big difference, and it makes a big difference in how people see you. Now, if you found this useful and you want to work on your status, on your charisma, on how you present or your public speaking, and you want my personal help, go to the link here in the description and let's meet online for 30 minutes and we can chat how I can help you, and maybe we'll do some coaching. In the meantime, drop any comments or questions here in the comments section, and I'll speak to you soon.